Hello and welcome to a new Vanguard Zero video, and I just wanted to talk about something I've been thinking about for a while now, and that's that just Vanguard Zero is fine. See, the thing is, the game's been out for a while now, quite a few months actually, and the thing is, it's now been out for long enough that everyone who plays it, at least anyone who has been playing it ever since its initial release, kind of understands what the deal with the game is. It's hit this rhythm that it's kind of found itself getting into. And so it's very unlikely that anything in the future will be all too surprising or interesting that we don't already know about, whether that be from us already knowing about stuff being added from the Japanese version months in advance, or even just that, we've played enough of the game now that we know what it is and what it's trying to achieve. And basically all that to say that because of that, the novelty has very much worn off. Now, I'm very interested to see how this video gets received, because I know that a lot of people kind of get angry whenever anyone mentions anything like that. And are like, no, it's still good, shut up. But I also have noticed that a lot of people from all across the board have also gone on board with the game. Now, I'm not 100% bored of it, and I definitely do want to keep coming back to it. I still have it installed on my phone, I still log in every day, I still do all the character fights, I even do a ranked fight here and there. I just don't see myself grinding it for hours on end anymore, and I've noticed the same thing with other people too. And it's a combination of factors, because what's funny is that the game, if you look at it analytically and with kind of a fairly unbiased point of view, it's actually better than it's ever been right now. Like, no more VP farmers, the balancing is pretty good, MLB just got nerfed. So there's a bit more meta variety than usual. There's way more mechanics and stuff than there used to be. Like, the tournament mode is a fun distraction. The rented decks, whenever those are available, are really cool. And yeah, there's more clans than ever before. And there's even a Neonectar event coming up, which I'm really looking forward to. That's the thing right now in the game that I'm currently, actually looking forward to, more so than anything else. But, even when a new set drops, whatever, like it did at the beginning of this month, in August, I opened a few packs, but then I just kind of kept climbing with my 9-crit Ezel deck. Because I think it speaks to a bigger issue with this game, that, and this is going to sound very cynical of me, but I kind of hope you understand what I'm saying when I say this, fun isn't the priority. Right? So, for example, when you buy a Vanguard deck, whether that be a starter deck or one that you put together, a physical one, and you go and you play with your friends, or you even just go to, a card store and make new friends and stuff like that, the whole point of the game is just to play it, right? It hits this very kind of closed off circle of, I play to get more familiar with my deck, then I spend my money on more cards so that I can build a better or more varied deck so that I can keep playing, right? And the end goal with the physical card game is always just to play more, right? That's always it. And the inherent fun of being able to play the game and kind of rising up the ranks so that you can go and play against more people in real life, that's it. Just being able to play with the new cards and stuff, that's the end goal. But I ironically think that one of Vanguard Zero's biggest problems is the addition of more progression. Yeah, seriously, the idea of having this ranked mode and having the VP and the Sentinel medals and all this other stuff you need to keep track of, it basically means that it's turned the game into a job. Now, this is a thing that's common in gacha games across the board, but the thing is, a lot of people who play Vanguard Zero are people who aren't very familiar with gacha games and are only playing this because it's a Vanguard game, not because it's a gacha game. But basically, the idea is that if you are a free-to-play player, or even if you're just someone who's paying to play the game, right, you get the feeling that you have to play the game as efficiently as possible. In fact, in the past I mentioned that like the game, quote unquote, to Vanguard Zero isn't the actual card fights. Those are very trivial, but instead the gameplay itself is actually planning out the most efficient way of playing the game. Oh, what's the most efficient way of getting resources? Like this. What's the most efficient way of getting a card I want? Like this. What's the most efficient way of climbing ranks? Oh, by building this deck. And so on and so forth. Basically, Vanguard Zero is a game of efficiency, and whenever you're not playing the game the most efficient way possible, it feels bad. Like, to me, I wanna, play the game so that I can build Angel Feathers and Neo Nectars and just play with them and have fun. But the thing is, whenever I'm not playing those decks, like whenever I am playing those decks, I feel bad because I'm not playing the game as efficiently as possible. And so by playing those decks, I'm missing out on rewards and things that I could have been getting if I was playing a better deck instead. Basically, this game has, if anything, too high an emphasis on meta. I've never particularly been someone who's cared all that much about metas, especially solved metas. I like the idea of being able to kind of just put together a deck, have a bit of fun with it, and maybe get some wins, but that's not the important part. I like the idea of, instead of just taking a deck list from online, instead just opening packs and seeing what I can build out of what I've got. But the thing with Vanguard Zero and ranked mode particularly is, if you're not playing with a good deck, you may as well not be playing at all, because the gameplay itself is very kind of frustrating, and the focus on the grinding is very much there, especially considering that to get new packs and stuff, you basically have to grind. Like, even if you're someone who pays to play the game and pays real money to open packs, they're pretty stingy, and so you still want to be grinding as many of the free resources as possible anyway, and the game becomes a job. It becomes a routine and a pattern of, oh, I need to log in every day at this time of day so I can get the most amount of the daily missions done as possible, so that I can play the game as efficiently as possible, so that I can open as many packs as possible when the new set comes out. Actually, wait, no, I'm not going to open any packs when the new set comes out, because I need to wait for the pickup gacha. So while everyone else is having fun and playing with a deck I really want, I'm waiting for the pickup gacha to happen in a couple weeks' time, so that I can more easily afford to actually play the deck I want. But by the time that happens, I've already lost interest in that deck anyway, because it's already been out for a couple weeks. And it just becomes a job. It becomes something that is part of your daily routine. And it becomes a chore. And you want to know what the best part of a card game is? Well, it's the opposite of that. It's the idea that after school or work, hell, even watch the Vanguard anime to know what I'm talking about. It's the idea that after a stressful day of school, the first thing Aichi does is immediately go to Card Capital and hang out with his friends. It's a social experience. It's an experience of having fun and playing the game and just blowing off some air and some steam. It's not about grinding for efficient resources. It's about sitting back, chatting with your friends, opening a couple packs or so, and then having a few fun, silly games. And you can do stuff like that in Vanguard Zero, but it's not easy, and it's certainly not built into the game, and any moment you spend on Discord setting up friend fights and stuff to actually try and do that, well, you could be spending that time grinding ranked and getting some gems instead, which once again guilt trips you. I think that's the big problem. Now, the funny thing is, this is all by design. See, Vanguard Zero was never really, and again, this is going to sound very cynical of me, but hopefully you kind of understand what I'm talking about here. Vanguard Zero was never supposed to be a fun game. It's a gacha game. They're supposed to make money. They're supposed to get you addicted to product. And it's supposed to be a gateway drug. And I feel like this is something that a lot of people have experienced, where Vanguard Zero was there for the people who weren't currently playing the TCG, and it offers you a stripped down, bare version of the card game that takes away features such as guarding, so that you'll enjoy the gameplay enough that you'll want to keep playing, but also it will leave you wanting more, so you do transition to the actual TCG. And that's fine. it's done that job pretty adequately, actually. In fact, again, it's done it a bit too well. And so when the novelty does wear off, it wears off hard because you start really missing the things that you really loved about the TCG. And of course, in this current climate, actually playing the TCG isn't the easiest thing in the world. And that kind of brings me back to my next point of this game isn't what the fans wanted. I don't think anyone was clamoring for a mobile gacha game for Vanguard. I feel like most people, myself included, played this despite the fact that it was a gacha game because it was Vanguard rather than the other way around. I love Vanguard, and so sure, I guess I'll play a Vanguard gacha game because I like Vanguard so much. What I really wanted was something along the lines of Cardfight Online or Vanguard EX, but unfortunately both of those games are unplayable to me because Cardfight Online got cancelled and had to pull the plug pulled on it before it was officially released. And Vanguard EX is only released in Japanese, and well, you know the thing I just said about Vanguard Zero feeling like a chore? Well, going through and manually translating the card effects and stuff so that I can actually play Vanguard EX, that turns it into even more of a chore. And basically, the idea I'm going back to here, and I don't want this to sound too negative, I'm still playing Vanguard Zero, and I'm still going to keep making videos about it, albeit a little less often. It's more so that obviously I was going to make non-stop videos about it while the game was new, because I really enjoyed playing it. Even in those very first few videos, I said, hey, I'm playing Vanguard Zero, let's record myself playing it for a bit until I get bored of it. You know, I was very open and honest about that from the beginning. I never wanted to put forward this front that I was going to do nothing but Vanguard Zero content. And I think after talking with a few fellow content creators that they've taken a similar stance too, for the most part. It's a thing of we've been making videos and stuff about Vanguard Zero because it's a thing we're playing right now, and sure, why not make videos about it? That's fun. But eventually, if it becomes less fun to make Vanguard Zero videos, then of course we're going to move on to other stuff. Not permanently. I will, again, keep coming back to Vanguard Zero and still making 1 or 2 videos a week, but it certainly isn't going to go back to the daily routine anytime soon unless we do get some kind of really big, massive, major update. And basically, to end this video, I just wanted to say that I like Bushiroad, you know? Bushiroad are a pretty cool company. I like them a lot, but there's definitely been a mismanagement of priorities, and I totally get it. They're a company that needs to take everything into account, not just my personal opinions. They've got to satisfy everyone, and that includes shareholders, right? And so obviously, they're never going to make the perfect decision each time. But the fact that, well, you know, Buddy Fight fans had their entire franchise cancelled, and Vanguard fans have been given a gacha game rather than a translation of EX or the release of Vanguard Cardfight Online. And yes, I know the reason that Cardfight Online was cancelled, and I know the reason Vanguard EX was never translated, but that doesn't make it any less frustrating, just because there is a reason they didn't do it. And yeah, every time I find myself thinking about Vanguard, I'm like, God, I really hope things start looking up again when Overdress starts, because, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't want to be too negative. I do worry that, like, whenever I kind of stress any kind of even remotely negative opinion, that people will see it as me whining, and that's not it. Like, funnily enough, humans can be nuanced and have kind of complex and differing opinions. And my opinion when I think of Vanguard Zero isn't, oh, I hate it, it sucks. It's more so, I wish it was more than it currently is, but by design, it's not supposed to be. If Vanguard Zero caught up and got all of the brand new cards we have currently right now, and it had the guarding added back in and all this other stuff, then those other products they're trying to sell to us would be irrelevant. Vanguard EX would be irrelevant if it had a good story mode that wasn't just a recap of the anime. And the TCG would be irrelevant if you could just play the actual TCG on your phone with, you know, with the guarding and all, right? And the grade zeros added back in, and so on and so forth. Like, Vanguard Zero is a game that's supposed to be a certain specific thing. And I think over the past few months, we've all kind of learned what it is supposed to be. And it's just interesting to think about, I guess. Maybe that sounds like kind of a cop-out statement to end the video with, but it is interesting. It's just been eye-opening to see, especially like myself, form a community on YouTube around other people playing and enjoying the game, and then seeing those people slowly over time saying that they stopped playing or they uninstalled or that they're focusing on other things, and that is interesting to me. And I think that's something that Bushiroad has to take into account, because yes, the hardcore fans are always going to stick around, and like I said, I'm going to keep playing. But with a gacha game like this, you want to have more people join the game than leave if you want to be able to kind of sustain yourself over time. And a gacha game, without going too deep into it, gacha games, the way they're made, is very, very expensive and time-consuming, so it has to be successful for a very, very long time to actually start making any money. So it's in their best interest to keep the game going and successful for at least a couple years to make their money back. But yeah, I guess we'll see how things go. I think the overdress era is really gonna shine a lot of light as to what direction Vanguard is going in, because again, Bushiroad are in a very rocky transitional period right now. The anime has been spin-offs for the past while. The card game has basically just been playing catch up now. They're just adding back all of the G-era decks back into the game again, and all that other stuff. So hopefully the overdress era will really kind of shine a light on what direction they're actually going in, and I'm really looking forward to that. Again, nowadays whenever I think of Vanguard, I just think about how excited I am for seeing what overdress has in store. And I guess we'll see, right? So yeah, that's my thoughts on Vanguard Zero. Again, I don't hate the game, I quite like it actually, but I definitely think its novelty has worn off for better or for worse, and there's good things to the novelty wearing off, right? Like, the novelty wearing off means that we can now more fairly address what the game is, and it can use that to its advantage. Because it's easier to analyze exactly what the game is and what the game isn't, that means it can take that into advantage when adding new updates and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. So, I guess I'll see you later with some more Vanguard videos. Don't worry, I am still going to keep uploading Vanguard videos. You don't need to unsubscribe if that's what you're worried about. And I just want to hear your thoughts. Like, how many months has it been? It was like early April released, I think. So after that many months, like 4 or so, I want to hear what it is you guys have to say about this game and what your thoughts are, and if it's changed is the really important thing. So, because yes, I was initially really hyped and really excited for Vanguard Zero, but now it's become a common thing that I'm used to, and so, as I mentioned, the novelty's worn off, so yeah. Anyway, I'll see you later with some more Vanguard Zero content, because I will still be making Vanguard Zero videos, don't worry. And I'll see you later in the future.